elevations today, and then we have rain coming in with those winds for Tuesday. So that we really are kind of two different parts here. Tuesday is also a WVLT First Alert weather day, and that's when we're focused on a messy morning commute. Much needed rain, don't get me wrong, that is great news, but yes, it could make for some messy roads. So let's talk about everything that's going on here. I'm going to take these graphics up full for you so that you can kind of see what all we're talking about a little bit better. If we could take down the graphics off the screen, thank you so much. We got a crew working here for you in the back as we continue to talk more about all the changes that you're going to see and feel. So let's talk about these gusts in particular, since that is the concern today. Notice as we jump around into the valley, you've got some 10, 15, 20 mile per hour winds, a little stronger on the plateau. That's areas like Cumberland to Fentress to Morgan counties, and then even stronger when you go up into the higher elevations of the foothills to the mountains. Now this is a concern because these are areas in particular where we have had some fires. For example, let's jump into this video. This may look familiar to you. You've probably seen it on WVLT News. This is the Duck Cove fire that we've been keeping an eye on as we have had some issues lately. This is why we have a WVLT First Alert weather day, right? This is our concern. We do not want to see more of this. One ember can travel much further when those winds are higher like they are today. So that's why this is a concern. That's why we have your WVLT First Alert weather day. Notice those gusts again by tonight are even stronger in the plateau, in the mountains, but at least then we're starting to bring in some rain with it. So that'll be that twofold transition point, basically, where those winds are up in the morning, but the rain is also rolling in. So a very important transition point there with those gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour outlining the valley, but then 50 to 60 to even 70 mile per hour gusts when we focus on the mountains, which is why that's where there's a red flag warning. A red flag warning means there is an increased fire risk. This starts at noon Monday. This goes until 7 a.m. Tuesday. So very important to keep that in mind, that this is an extended period where we could have winds, unfortunately elevating that fire risk until we get the rain with the winds tomorrow. So even focused on those mountains here, a little bit easier to kind of now just focus your eyes on those foothills to mountains and those gusts of 40 to 50 to some 60 and 70 mile per hour winds at times going into the end of today, into tonight, and the morning hours tomorrow before we combine that with some rain. So that's really important to keep in mind, as we do have a lot of clouds and a couple of showers trying to develop, but it's important to remember that the air is very dry right now. That's why there's a wildfire risk. So here we are looking in the Sevier County area with our live camera. We have a lot of clouds. We have a couple sprinkles showing up on the live radar, but here's why a lot of you are not seeing them at the ground. The dew points are only in the 30s. That's very dry air. So that means there's raindrops up in those clouds, but they're not making it down to us yet. This is slowly increasing the dew point. I've watched it go up a little bit there, here for you this morning. So we're kind of watching that rise a little bit, and then we can get some more of those raindrops to the ground. So you can even see here rainfall today. We've had some sprinkles make it to the plateau so far, mountain tops. So in your first alert forecast, we're then transitioning over to that rain story. Much needed rain. You can see we've got at least a decent risk here for some excessive rainfall. Sadly, that's actually good news for us because we are in a severe drought, but that does mean some of the heaviest rains will be coming in the mountains. So that's where we kind of flip that switch over tomorrow morning. Gustier winds mountains, then heavier rainfall. Hopefully that doesn't create any slides, but just keep that in mind too. That does mean areas where they have had to do controlled burns, area where there have been fires, this could actually kind of eat away at those hillsides a little easier because we have so much going on right now. So then the second WVLT First Alert weather day is for Tuesday morning. That's when much needed rain comes through, but could make for a messy morning commute. That's when we could have ponding on the roads, a hydroplaning risk. So that's why we're focused there on the second part of our WVLT First Alert weather day. So I wanted to highlight the two differences where you have the winds today and only a couple of light showers trying to make it to the ground. Those winds really ramping up afternoon to evening while it's dry. There's your wildfire risk in your WVLT First Alert Futurecast for the evening. Now when we finally get that rain in, all right, so there's still a lot of winds here, but at least now we're finally getting in some rains. So that's where you get some moderate to heavy rain kind of coming up into the plateau to South Valley around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. We're starting to get some really good rain. Notice it continues while you're sleeping into the early morning hours for your Tuesday. So that's where we are seeing that rainfall continue to spread out into your Tuesday. at that good coverage there, much needed rain. But again, this is during the morning commute. Last little band there of some really heavy rain, even a rumble of thunder or two possible on the plateau there into that 6 o'clock hour, kicking off our first alert weather day for Tuesday, spreading out that rain 7 to 8 o'clock. This is a time we know a lot of folks are on the roads. I know Kristen is always busy in your first alert traffic at this time on WVLT News. So again, that's what we're keeping an eye on with that timing impact on your first alert futurecast. 9 to 10 a.m. There's a lot of rain continuing to move through. At least that then moves up into far northeast Tennessee in the mountains by midday. Now we'll still have some showers, but they become a lot more isolated for the second half of your Tuesday. So in terms of rainfall, the bulk of that is during that morning hours. And when we take a close look, I don't know about y'all, but I have been looking forward to this rainfall. Now notice that very high spike up there in the mountains. That is important because again, that's where there would be a very isolated slide risk, but there's just so much happening here over the course of today and tomorrow. So let's zoom in that rain forecast where you live. This has been a good trend for rainfall, so it's nice to kind of see this persistence. Couple spots a little lower, that little half-an-inch streak there in the foothills. That's where the elevation change actually can help to kind of ramp up the rainfall potential up in the mountain tops. So that's why you see that big stark transition from Pigeon Forge to Gatlinburg to the tops of the Smokies. A lot of us are getting that half an inch to an inch, good 3/4, 8/10, some 9/10 here in the south to central valley. Pausing it here, we always do a forecast where you live on WVLT News. Every nook and cranny of our area matters. And we've got a good half an inch to 3/4 of an inch on the plateau to the Tennessee-Kentucky line. Then notice it steps up a bit as you come down into Roane to Anderson to Knox, Union counties. That good streak of a half an inch to 3/4. Still good rainfall there at the Tennessee-Kentucky line. But then as you get closer to the Virginia line, well, you get closer to 9/10 to an inch. And again, that goes up into far northeast Tennessee. But that purple to red there, that's that excessive rainfall I was just highlighting for you a moment ago that could lead to some slides tomorrow as the cold air slides in behind that rain. On Wednesday, just a heads up, I know a lot of you travel. I want to show where that rain will be off to the coast. We'll have a couple of mountaintop snow showers. It'll be much quieter going into Thanksgiving. It'll be cooler going into Thanksgiving, ending the week with a few showers. So to recap, our two different WVLT first alert weather days. Today we have some very spotty light rain, breezy for many. The concern is that fire risk in the mountains. Red flag warning, Smoky Mountains through today into tomorrow morning. Those gusts 40 to 70 miles per hour in the higher elevations. Then you have the messy morning commute Tuesday, but some much needed rain. So there is kind of that twofold good news there. So again, Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley here. I know there's a lot that I just broke down for you, so you can go back and kind of pause and play and focus on what you want, or open the WVLT First Alert Weather app. We actually send you messages when we get new data into. Let you know when rainfall timing has changed, rainfall amounts where you live has changed, whatever it may be, we send you a message so you know what's going on. You can also open WVLT.tv. You can see right now, obviously, with everything going on, weather's front and center, but you can also go straight to that WVLT.tv/weather tab, read up on the latest. But like I said, those links even to download our app are right here for you in our WVLT.tv website. So we want to make sure that you are covered no matter what. One more look as to why we have a WVLT First Alert Weather Day today and tomorrow. Stay informed to stay safe.